Hey everybody, Wayne Veldsman here. Welcome back to another episode of Work, Grind, Hustle. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're at a crazy time in the world right now. It's April 13th when I'm recording this. Things are hectic. People's schedules have changed. People's whole lives have changed. So I appreciate you for taking the time to tune in. I know there's so many other distractions happening. So really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without you, there's no way that I'd be able to grow these channels, these avenues, help spread the message, and actually just help more people around the world. So truly thank you so much for that. Guys, on today's episode, right, if you've been having trouble with staying focused, if you've been having trouble with positivity, if you've been having trouble with your mindset, right, of what to do during these crazy times, you're in the right place. So in today's episode, that's what I want to talk about. I want to spread a little bit more positivity, give you guys 3 actionable steps of advice, what you can actually do to stay positive right now, to see opportunity right now, and actually lead from the front. Over the weekend, me and one of my business partners, Mark, actually met up, went on a little hike. No, don't worry guys, we're staying with the rules, with the laws that are set as far as social distancing, what we can and can't do. But basically, this is where our conversation went. The conversation went towards how can we lead from the front, lead with positivity, with optimism, and make sure that people aren't just letting things happen to them. Right? The worst thing you can do right now is to curl up into a little ball and just let the universe happen to you. Right? You need to take action. Right? Just because there's this disease going on in this world, just because so many businesses have been shut down and people have been laid off, it doesn't mean that you're not still in control. Take control of your own life. That's what I want you to do. That's what today's episode is about. It's about being able to look at the positives, being able to understand how we can still influence our minds, how we can get into the mindset of growth, of opportunity, and keep pushing forward day in and day out. Guys, so the very first thing, it actually comes from an online training that I watched with Jesse Itzler. If you guys aren't familiar with Jesse, I'll link to him down below. He's actually a billionaire entrepreneur who's known for launching a private jet company called Marquis Jets. It was one of his first companies. He sold it to Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, and now he's doing big things in the entrepreneurship world, in the mindset world. So the very first actionable piece of advice here, you need to be conscious of the words that you are speaking to yourself, the words that are being spoken around you. You need to really pay attention to this, right? He was given an example of, he was busy training for a 100-mile long race. And he went to seek advice, to seek training on how to run this race. And it turned out that the majority of the training, it had nothing to do with the physical act of running. It had to do with the mindset and the mentality behind being able to do it. So if you get asked, hey, how's everything going? Force yourself to say, you know what? It's going really well. Things are going great, right? You need to believe this. Because if you think about it, right, we're alive. We have the opportunity still in front of us. The sun is shining. It's 2020. You're watching this video on the internet. You have more opportunity than anybody at any time in the history before you. So things are great. Just because one small thing is bad, just because there's this epidemic, there's health crisis, there's some financial crisis, what about all the good? You need to be paying attention to the words that you speak yourself and the words that are being spoken around you, right? I'm sure you've heard the saying of you're the average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with, right? And so it's the same thing right here. If you're around negativity, if you're around people just essentially not putting you down necessarily, but almost putting life down, putting our situations, our opportunities at hand down, you're gonna start to believe that. It's the last thing you need right now. We need to be paying attention to the words that we speak ourselves as well as the words that are being spoken to us. Now, of course, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, well, Wayne, I'm in quarantine right now. I'm stuck with these people. How am I supposed to safeguard myself from this negativity, or even just these words that aren't as positive as they should be, what can I do? Right? And I understand it's very, very difficult. Of course, you can't maybe get away, but try to not consume the words that they're saying. If you're around someone and they start to get into a negative vibe, or if it's the conversation, the subject matter starts to go negative, remove yourself. Go to a different room in the house. Go to your bedroom. If you can't, even put some earphones in and go to a podcast. Go to a YouTube channel. Go find an influencer in this world. Maybe it is an entrepreneur. Maybe it's a therapist or someone in the mental health space. Just listen to some positivity, soak in some opportunity, and actually take control of the words that you're consuming, right? This whole thing of the 5 people that you surround yourself with most, right? I think when that came out, it was before a lot of podcasts. It was before a lot of social media. Because now what I believe is that actually it's not just the people who you physically surround yourself with, the people who you are listening to the most, the people whose content you are consuming the most. I thought about this when I was actually running my old marketing company, and it was super interesting because we were so gung-ho on learning, on education, on listening to podcasts and reading blogs, that it was to the point of, you know what, I'm spending more time with these digital figures that, I can't ask them questions, but I'm spending so much time with them that I'm starting to become the average of them as well, if that makes sense. So guys, watch your self-talk, watch the words that you speak to yourselves and the words that you're consuming. That's point number 1 here for how to be positive, how to see more opportunity in these times of what some are seeing as negativity, what most are seeing as negativity. We'll just call them unusual times for the rest of this episode, shall we? So number 2, guys, I started actually getting in this path with number 1. I had to catch myself. But number 2 is gratitude. All right, I hope this isn't an overplayed subject. Don't lose here. I don't want to lose you here. Stick with me. It's truly, though, being grateful for the things that we do have, right? Because when you're grateful, when you're focused on the positivity of what we do have, it's impossible to be upset and to focus on the negativities or even see any negativities. Once again, this one comes from Jesse Itzler. He was saying that when they were running, it was a 100-mile long race he was training for, right? They decided that every, we'll call it 4 or 5, 6 miles, I don't remember what it was, but every 6 miles, they would physically speak something that they're grateful for. I'm grateful that I have shoes on my feet. I'm grateful that I have a water bottle in my hand. I'm grateful for access to water. I'm grateful to be in a first world country. I'm grateful to have the internet. I'm grateful to be inside. It's snowing outside right now. There's people in this world who don't have shelters, who don't have homes. So be grateful for what we do have. Why focus on the negativities in the world, on the unusual circumstances that we're going through, when you could be focused on all of the positivity in the world, all of the opportunity that we do have, all of the things to be so grateful for. Guys, I even urge you to hit pause on this right now, or I'll take a little 10-second moment of silence. Just simply think, what am I grateful for? Is it the sunshine? It's the fact you have a family. It's the fact you have the opportunity to listen to this. What are you grateful for? Guys, so number 3, the final piece of the puzzle here, right? After 1, watching the words that we speak to ourselves and the words that we consume. Number 2, being grateful, practicing gratitude. Maybe it isn't every 6 miles that you run, but it's every morning when you wake up, every day at lunch, every night when you go to bed, practicing gratitude, right? Now, number 3 is simply just to start. Simply get going, to get in motion, right? Because I think one of the biggest problems with, not really necessarily with society, but a lot of people's mindsets and actions stems from a unwillingness to get going. It might be self-doubt, a thought of, I'm not good enough to actually start. I don't know everything, but just simply try. Right? When you get up in the morning, instead of going to go sit in front of the TV and binge watch Netflix and movies all day, open up your laptop and start doing a little bit of research. Go to your computer, open up your phone, and start looking for positivity. Start looking for opportunities. Just start. When you get going, you're going to get into this groove, into this momentum where when roadblocks arise or when things present themselves that you are unfamiliar with, you're going to already be in this groove, in this momentum that you're going to want to figure it out. You're going to want to learn. What's going to happen is instead of, sitting on the couch and struggling and moping and being like, there's so much bad going in this unusual time, you're going to actually have already started moving, and you're going to be in the mindset of, okay, how can I overcome this? Which direction do I need to switch? Which path do I need to change or take now to be able to figure out the obstacle that has presented itself? Guys, in my life, a lot of days, it happens where I wake up and I don't just jump out of bed like I would love to. That happens, a lot of mornings. I wake up and I'm like, ugh, I'm so warm and comfortable right now. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything today. Maybe I'll just take the day off. And always the better answer is to simply get up and just get going. Fine, maybe you start off slower today than you did a different day, or maybe it ends up you don't accomplish as much as you would have liked to, or as much as you're capable of. However, by just getting going, by simply just starting, you're gonna get into a groove and you're gonna at least push forward. You're gonna at least gonna move on, and I don't care if you accomplish one tiny little thing. It's better than just letting the world and the universe happen to you. It's better than curling up into a tiny little ball in the fetal position and just taking it. I want you to take control, right? Don't just let this life and things happen to you, but take control. You can control entirely how you react to these situations, how you react to what's going on, how you respond, and the actions you take every day. And simply step one is just get going. So I hope that helps a little bit, as it's so important right now that we all work to spread positivity, to spread optimism, to help teach the mindset that it takes to stay strong right now. Times are unusual. Times are difficult, right? I'm not living in a delusional state here by any means. I understand what's going on. However, I'm choosing to look for the opportunities, for the positivity in this world, the things that we can be grateful for, instead of looking at all the negativity. So I urge you, I challenge you to please join me in this quest. Please join me in helping to spread this message to other people. Of course, I ask you, my one big ask is to share this. Send in a text message to someone, share it on social media, or honestly, just as good, tell somebody about the message, right? Give them a little synopsis, a summary, just relay the good vibes, these 3 simple tips, and just that alone will make it so worth it for me. Obviously, I don't charge for the videos, I don't charge for the podcast, and so I will consider that wholeheartedly as payment to me, simply that you are taking the advice, you're taking action on the advice, you're starting to spread it and share it as well. Guys, so once again, I thank you so much. If you got some value out of it, share the message, hit subscribe, leave me a comment or a review. That way I can keep doing this week in and week out, working to help you guys get better every single day. So until then, guys, my name is Wayne Veldsman. You've been listening to Work, Grind, Hustle. Peace.